And welcome back to Gaming Valkyries. I'm your host, Nars,
I'm Ellie Mew.
And I'm Kiriana Leash.
and we're here today to talk about a really good topic, actually, a couple topics. But in this episode, we have a lot of good things in store. CES 2013 just happened. Crazy stuff is happening. If you're updated on what's going on in Las Vegas, then you obviously should know. But if you don't know, I'll let you know right now. I'm not the biggest tech crunch or tech geek, but I do have to say there's a lot of good things that are being said. There's a lot of good things, but we obviously can't be able to filter out all the tech stuff, and we just talk about video games. To be honest, so in the latest news, and something that I'm always following is pretty much politics. But if you guys don't know, President of Nintendo of America. Reggie, I don't even know how to say his last name, Fils-Aimé, I think you can say. He apparently reported that in order for the Wii U to maintain its losses, that they would have to sell at least one game in order to obtain a gain. Now, apparently an economist, and I forget his name, he actually counted it and said that's absolutely false. They would actually require to sell, more than one game in order to reach a balance in their losses. Which is kind of funny because you think that, they were hyping the Wii U so much. And, there's, a good decent amount of games that were coming out for the Wii U. But yet Nintendo seems to fail to uphold it. Now, I know that 400,000 Wii units were sold. And so that's about 1.2 million devices total. So it's kind of contradictory how one economist can say that no, it's actually wrong, they won't even, obtain a gain, but then the president of Nintendo is saying that, no, Nintendo's not losing money on the Wii U at all. So who's really telling the truth? To be honest, should we believe the president of America, who will obviously say anything to make Nintendo look better, or should we rely on economists? And I feel like this is kind of, I wouldn't say counterproductive, but this is kind of weird, like who's factual and who's not. So I guess we'll see what happens in the next couple months if, the Wii U sales are actually in the balance or if they're actually being in the negative. I mean, they made 400,000 consoles. I mean, what do you guys think about that?
I'm not really sure, to be honest.
Okay, I guess we'll just leave it at that. In other news, if you guys have been watching the trailers, Pokemon X and Y was just announced. Obviously, the game is being entirely different. It's not taking the traditional 2D game style, where you watch your opponent's Pokemon battle your character. It's more 3D, it's more interactive, it's more lively. Contradictory to much belief, a lot of people are not liking the new game, and some people are actually making fun of the name itself, Pokemon X and Pokemon Y. It's like someone was like XYZ, and it's just like Zemi or Zipper.
Or like they ran out of ideas.
Yeah, seriously. I mean, it's like, did they run out of colors? Because, there's magenta, there's, key lime pie, I don't know. Can you imagine? Pokemon Key Lime Pie. Pokemon Magenta. I don't know.
Pumpkin pie or key lime pie? Which one do you do?
Pumpkin pie. Oh. In other news, apparently the burning of video games that promoted violence, quote unquote, was actually canceled after much debate of whether or not video games resulted in misbehaviors or violent behaviors. I know you ladies. We spoke about this in our previous episode where we talked about how violence could no way, in part, be responsible for what happened at Sandy Hook. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't say it played a part in it at all, in the sense that it was actually the parenting, mental illness, and gun control that were the main factors in what resulted into Sandy Hook. Now, the interesting thing about this is, you ladies obviously you know what's going on, but there is. Obama and Joe Biden started a task force to target violent video games after the school shooting. According to ABC, CNN, New York Times, and NBC News, and the Wall Street Journal, the Vice President Joe Biden actually had a meeting with representatives from the video game industry this past Friday. So we had like the CEO of Electronic Arts, we had the Entertainment Software Association, among many other like psychologists, philosophers, and game designers, talking to Joe Biden, sort of meeting with him to let Joe Biden know that video games really are not the cause for the violence that happened in Sandy Hook. And even Joe Biden said himself that there's no real silver bullet, in the sense that, you can't mark the video game industry as the killer or as the reason why this has happened. And it's just it's heartwarming to hear that, but at the same time, all the articles are not really giving any sort of confidence to what side is going to be winning. It's kind of like, how when you say a lot without saying much. Yeah. I feel like that's what these articles are doing. And yeah. I mean, even the editor-in-chief Casey Lynch from IGN was bad-mouthing the editor-in-chief of Gama Sutra, that we as a gaming community now more than ever need to defend our hobby, because God knows what's going to happen after this point, whether stricter rules are going to be enforced, or whether we're going to cease to see some of our favorite games.
Or we're going to have to compromise what the developers' intentions were because it's too violent.
But think about this, ladies. No more, like, what happens if they pull away Call of Duty and Mortal Kombat? Like, what's gonna happen?
I mean, or what happens when your bullets are like something else and it doesn't, and the person's not exactly dying, like they kind of explode in thin air? Like how some games get away from being like 13 and up or something because they don't exactly die. You know what I'm saying? Like Final Fantasy, if you play them, they kind of disappear. There's no blood. I think, in a sense, then you should. If they're going to go after the game companies, they should go after movies. There are some movies that are really gory.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And are you going to try to tell us that you're going to compromise the game industry and not compromise Hollywood, where it's like a style of art to me, and if a game company wants to do a certain thing and it's not offensive in any way,
you know what, Kitty? I don't think anybody
as a game, why are you trying to stop it? If that makes any sense. And, plus, it's actually for, like, 18 and up or 17 and up on most of the violent games. Yeah. And the kids that are having these issues is because their parents bought it in the first place, which, goes back to our other podcast. Makes me mad. It goes in a circle. Like, you're the parent, you're getting this kid a game that's not even supposed to be in his hands. You're handing the gum to him.
Oh, you guys are going.
Right, exactly. Like, I don't think that it's hard to say if this is going to really change video games so much, because it's kind of like, how are they going to take away the games that we're enjoying that are making a huge industry right now? But, I mean, I agree that some things should kind of be toned down. But, again, it's for the person who's buying the game. M-rated games are for, like, 17 and up. We're adults. We should be able to handle the games that we want to play.
Exactly.
What do you think? FMJ rapid fire.
So, as of right now, many of the video game developers are rallying congressional support to fend off the biggest regulatory threat that's happened since 2 decades. So, I mean, 2 decades ago, that's when the ESRB rating, the ESRB was implemented to sort of differentiate, rating styles just like TV and just like in movies. And at this point, what more can be done? And, we're going to just keep in tune with the news and see what happens. And I think more than anything, we as gamers need to unite and defend our hobby, defend our rights. Because to be honest, these are our rights. We have the right to play games. Yeah.
Oh, you guys are dead.
So that's all the news I have. Do you?
Well, yeah. For there's going to be a limited edition Tomb Raider controller for the Xbox 360. Also, it's going to include an exclusive character.
What?
So,
did they say what character, or is it just?
No, it's just like completely random, but I'm sure it's gonna be cool.
Yeah, that's pretty interesting. I wonder. I mean, I can't think of it. Imagine it's like the butler. That would be pretty funny. Hey butler, give me my tea in this cave.
My dirty face.
Yeah. Oh man. Any other news?
Yep. Also, there's a guy who went and destroyed his Game Boy and created a controller with his Android phone. And, it's pretty interesting. He said that he was, tired of actually touching the screen. He wanted to use the buttons on his Game Boy versus his Android phone. I think that's really awesome.
I think I've heard of that, and you couldn't find places that could do it. That's pretty interesting. I mean, that's an automatic proof that gamers are geniuses.
They have a really good goal
Mm-hmm.
in mind. Yeah, I think so.
Forget it. They're capable of doing monstrous things.
Is he now selling that setup?
Yeah, I don't know. Is he?
Yep, he is.
Wow. I think he said, take that. That's ingenuity for you.
And he's capitalizing on his invention.
Yeah. He's patting the crap out of that. Alrighty, how about you, Ellie? Anything new?
Well, I know Kitty and I probably heard about it a lot. It's about iFly, this YouTube commentator. I think he does only mostly Call of Duty stuff. And what he does is usually call out other bigger YouTubers. And since he's pretty well known, I don't know why he decided to use this website called Chatterbait to masturbate and earn money from. And the funniest thing is that someone recognized him, and he was dumb enough to have his background the same. He's in his room, he has his Call of Duty poster, that same handle that people see in your videos. It's really you're up there in the YouTube world, and you don't think one person at least has heard of you and see you,
Holy crap, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
I mean, if you were to do that, right, you would want to change all the settings. He could be the run-of-the-mill, any kind of guy. But because he had the same background, everything's the same.
I think it's just more ridiculous that someone pays someone to just jerk off on camera. Why would I want to watch anyone jerk off on a camera? I think that's just personally me. If any one of you out there that are listening to this love it, by all means, don't contact me.
But, it also does bring to a point where there are famous YouTubers, especially the gamer YouTubers. Yes, money is important. Also, what you do is your business, but you should also protect yourself because his career I don't know if his career went down the drain, exactly, because I can see that he could get famous from this anyway, as well. Bad fame or good fame, he's still getting people to his channel or whatever. And I know my friend, one of my friends did a commentary about him, and he had his picture, and it had a smiley face covering his area, and he actually has a team of people forcing anybody using, kind of his picture in any kind of way that came from Chatterbait to take it down. So I guess something's up with that whole story.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. I mean, this isn't the first time that happens to a YouTuber. There was a really famous YouTuber that plays League of Legends, and it was fairly recent, maybe 4 months ago.
I don't know how long
he was streaming on Twitch. He won season 2 of World Champions, and he was streaming. After he was done streaming, he totally forgot he left his desktop on, and he had the webcam on him, and he was watching porn, jerking off. Did not know that.
Oh my
and he had
gosh.
people watching him
On Twitch, live.
Yeah.
Holy crap.
His account had to get taken down. He was forgiven. It got put back up. But I think he got a lot of fame from it, regardless good or bad. But this really says something about people who are either in the MLG community. If you're being watched, you really need to set a better
example.
But
you know what
remember?
Oh my god.
You know the funny thing is that these guys, they do this. But what if it was a girl? If it was a girl, they wouldn't be pardoned or forgiven so easily. They would become. I think it would be kind of controversial and kind of completely different reaction. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I would. God forbid anything like that happens to a girl. But I can't imagine how different it would be if it was a girl and not a guy. Just personally, I just think it's kind of weird.
Well, I don't think we'll be seeing that anytime soon, since I haven't heard any stories about that yet.
No, I hope not either. And I already feel terrible for the girl that it happens to.
Yeah.
Alrighty then. So, I guess at this point we'll just catch up with you ladies. Are you ladies playing anything new?
been playing more Minecraft, and I just recently played Minecraft on the 360, which they updated finally. I know the 360 version is way behind the PC/Mac version. I felt like a noob because I was like, holy shit, now I have creative again on the Xbox. You can actually build whatever hell you want. You have everything at your disposal. Except the colors are still limited, but I think it's amazing that they keep patching the Xbox 360 version, which is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope they start to add textures sometime in there.
I mean, they're still limited in certain colors. Like, when I was looking at the wool section, there's only like maybe 10 colors as opposed to on the PC Mac version, I have more colors to choose from. Hopefully you guys will see this video, but I have a video where it's girls versus boys, and we had a build-off, and I chose the topic, which is Pokemon. But it was hard for me and this girl to build it is because our Pokemon had different shades of that color. We're like, but you guys can see the video as soon as it's up and see which the Battle of the Sexes does better.
Definitely want to see that. Sounds cool.
Yeah.
So, I'll just say what I'm playing. I'm not saying that I picked it up, but I've gotten really into Tekken Tag Tournament, actually. Tekken Tag Tournament 2.
Woo!
Dash and me, we were playing all night last night. We bought a bottle of wine. We were playing till 2 o'clock in the morning. We got really drunk, and, like, we were having fun. I tattooed my whole arm, which is crazy, because when I woke up, I was like, what the fuck just happened to my arm? And it's like, it looked like henna tattoo, and then Dash was like, you were tattooing yourself the entire night while playing Tekken Tag Tournament with me. And I was just like, really? Was I good at Tekken Tag Tournament? And she's like, well, I mean, and I was like, okay, enough said. So yeah, I created a character. I was playing as Asuka and Lily.
Oh, Lily.
Okay.
Yeah, Lily is really good.
She's really,
Really good. But I'm thinking of switching to Angel, and I made a character design for Angel. So I mean, I heard Angel is pretty good, but you have to master it. Those buttons are freaking hard as hell. But I mean, I hear that if you play on an arcade stick, it's so much easier.
It really is.
I feel like they should actually like include an arcade stick with every game and just be like, just have like a sticker that says just avoid the D-pad. It sucks anyways.
Yeah. Well, like for me, I've mostly just been playing same things, Black Ops 2, Far Cry 3, which I still haven't beaten yet because there's so many quests to go on.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
It's Skyrim with guns. It's gonna take a while.
And then I also went and revisited a game that I never have beaten yet, and it's called Rage. Oh my god, it's pretty good. Have you guys heard of it? Played it?
I have it still, but I haven't played it. I'm definitely gonna play it this week, though. It's been a long time calling my name.
Dude, you had that game ever since like Christmas.
I had it when it came out.
Christmas.
I had it when it came out. My friend actually bought it for me. Then I thought, hey, I'm gonna wait for this dude since he's like a longtime friend from Xbox Live from Australia. Got it from me from US site from Amazon. And I was waiting, and because our time zones are so different sometimes, by the time he gets on, he's like, oh, I kind of want to play Call of Duty. I'm like,
yeah.
So it sucks, but it's cool to have Xbox Live or PS3 where you connect people all over the world.
Oh yeah.
Together.
Right. Well, going back to what Kitty was saying, Kitty, you're playing Rage?
Yes.
Isn't that scary first-person shooter game? Or no, it's not scary.
Yeah, it's kind of like, it feels like Borderlands, but more like, okay, if Borderlands and Fallout 3 had a baby, that would probably be Rage. It's actually a pretty dope game. You can like go around, loot people, like destroy enemies, upgrade. It's pretty good. I don't know why I never beat it before, because it came out maybe a year ago. And it's by the same company that created the Doom games and also Bethesda games.
Oh, Bethesda?
Yeah. It's pretty good.
Alrighty. Well, let us know how it goes.
Yeah.
For sure.
So, so talking about so I'm moving on to the next topic. Events that are happening this week are NYC Girl Gamers Meetup is actually happening this Friday. So if you're in the New York City tri-state area, don't miss it. Ladies, come down. It's entirely free. You know, drink wine, drink beer. You know, have food, play Halo 4, Call of Duty Black Ops Zombie Mode. We're gonna have some Super Smash Brothers. We're gonna have some Tag Tournament. We're gonna have some Street Fighter, and it's only for ladies. So definitely come on down. It's going to be so much fun. If you need any more information, it's going to be listed in my descriptions, whether this be YouTube or podcast. So that's an event that I definitely want to put out there. So I guess we're going to move on to our main topic of the night, unless you ladies have any events you want to talk about.
None that I know.
Nope.
That's happening.
Okay. All right. So moving on to our topic tonight. Our topic today is how girls play games versus how guys play games. Now, you know, obviously we can say how girls play games because we are girls. But you guys out there, you obviously know how you play games, all right? And I think the best way to start off is just explain how us girls play games. And not necessarily, particularly, I mean, I personally don't play for competition's sake. Like, I play just to have fun, and I say that wholeheartedly. I don't care if I suck. I don't care if I lose, like, 10 times in a row. I don't care if you have to save me, you know, on zombie mode, like, 50 million times. Like, I play because I like to have fun, and if I happen to get better at it, then so what? I get better at it, but I have fun at the same time. Now, I don't know about you ladies. How do you play games?
Ooh, it really depends who I'm playing with too. But if I'm playing with my clan, obviously I have my try-hard panties on all the time. I'm not gonna get mad if we lose, but I'm doing the best I can. And then when I'm playing with other people who are casual gamers, I'm gonna try to do the best. But I would, like I said, I still don't get mad if we lose or not. It's still a game. But I would take it seriously, personally. Like, I'll just try to do my best. But at the end of the game, it's like, you know, GG.
Hostile UAV above.
Well, for me, I don't know, it's kind of different because I either the only time I really go to really try hard is if I'm doing game battles with my clan, or if somebody's like trash talking and I have to prove them something. But I feel like those are like the only two times I'm really like hardcore. But when I play, like, obviously I don't really try to make a fool out of myself. If I'm like, let's say I'm playing like Call of Duty or something, I want to make sure my KD's at least even or above.
Yes.
But with like fighting games, sometimes I just sign on and I'm just like, I don't care. I'm going to pick this character I've never done anything with, and I'm going to try and play with them. That's like it. But I mean, there's times if I have to prove someone, I'm like full on and I have to win. And if not, you know, it's kind of up in the air. I at least try and do okay, but I'm not like too super serious about it.
No, that's understandable.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I can attest that, you know, it's just like it's just, I mean, I don't know. I wouldn't say that it was so much for competition. Like, it is what it is, and if you, but I know that sometimes, like, if someone tries to like badmouth me or say that I'll suck at a game, like, at times I want to take it seriously. I really do, but I feel like when I try to even take it seriously, I still fail. Like, I still manage to just, you know, make a fool out of myself. So that's why I keep it cool. I keep it mellow. I keep it fun. So that way, if I lose, then, you know, I lose, and if I win, well, at least I didn't make a big deal out about it. You know?
Yeah, that's understandable.
But how do you guys feel when you play with like other girls and guys? Like when they play with you, do you feel that you allow yourself to have more fun while playing, or do you feel like you should be a little bit more competitive?
Well, I think for me, when I'm playing with my guy friends, the thing that really gets me is that I have played with other girls, and we get competitive as a team. We're going to try to do our best. But when it's over, there isn't any like, oh, well, we'll do better next time. Like, for my man that's all full of guys, during the game, if we're even like went down like by maybe 10 to 15 points, that's no biggie. Even 20 points, even if we're that far, you can turn around a match if we pull our try-hard panties all together. But there's always like one or two clan members that always like, why are we losing, guys? What did you do? Or like they start blaming each other, and that's when the ugly comes out. And I notice it's more towards guy gamers rather than girl gamers, at least for me. And especially at the end of the game, they'll like they'll dispute about what happened, and I'm like, dude, this happened already. I can understand if you're gonna go to like, hey guys, can we have a little bit more teamwork? Good job though. We're gonna do it better. But instead, it gets kind of ugly at the end, which I don't like.
Yeah, can't stand that either.
But how do you handle those situations? I mean, I know that you play online more than me, and I don't know about with you, Kitty, as well. But I mean, with both of you, how do you handle a situation like that? You play a game, you play and you have fun, and then someone has taken it so serious that they're bad mouthing you, they're demeaning you, maybe sometimes. Like, what do you do in those situations?
Well, like, this actually happened to me yesterday, and I got so aggravated. I'm playing with my boyfriend and my friend Ryu Mega, and we're in a lobby playing Black Ops 2, and this guy comes in, and, we're just talking, all three of us, we're in game chat, and this dude comes in, and he's like, man, I bet you're bad, and he's talking to my friend Ryu Mega, and he's like, man, nobody was talking to you, and then it goes in this all-out war. And this guy's like, man, you suck, blah, 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 let me check your KD, blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, seriously, you're being so immature. And the game started, they were on the same team as us, and they're like, well, you know what, next round, we're gonna get you, blah, blah, blah. So the next round happens, and we lost. I did okay, like, our KDs were okay, but still we lost. And then when I talked so much crap, I ended up saying something to defend my friend, and I said, you sound really immature. You're just, like, joining Xbox Live parties for no reason, just trying to talk crap about people. Are you really that lonely? Do you have nothing better to do? And then the guy wants to come to me, and he calls me a little girl, and all this other stuff. And I don't know. I don't know how I handle it. It was just like, I feeded into the anger, because we're both going, like, kind of back and forth. Everybody's kind of arguing a little. But it felt so stupid at the same time. I'm just like, this makes no sense. We're arguing about nothing. But this guy came in and just aggravated us so much to the point where we just couldn't help ourselves. And we didn't do that well. But in the lobby, like in the game, we're actually like so quiet, trying to focus and do better. And then we get in the lobby and we're all like shaken up still, kind of. But I don't know. It drives me nuts. I try and do better when people like call me out or mess with my friends or whatever. I feel like it could have been like easily avoided if we just muted them as soon as they wanted to talk crap, but we didn't. So
yeah, that's the same here. Like sometimes it's just you kind of want to release your, I don't know, inner bitchiness when people start calling you out, and you just want to prove yourself. And the thing is, I think I don't know if you feel that way, Crystal, but it's like I know I have the potential. I know if my team is strong enough, I can take them down, and obviously we're going to talk a bunch of shit, and it feels great, especially when you win. If you don't win, then it's a different story. We're just going to back the hell out.
It does, and then like that's usually how it goes. It's like, oh dang, we lost against these trash talkers. Let's just back up. But then he's like, no, we can beat them. And I know I could beat them. It's just, you know when people are in a group and they run together, I hate that. So, yeah, they had the upper hand because there's like 3 guys in one group, and there's us, and we don't usually play together all the time. Then all of a sudden, he gets all these other people to join up. And I'm like, really? You have to get your whole clan in here to try and take us on? That's kind of sad.
That is.
But yeah.
That's so weird because, I mean, do you ladies normally play with other girls? Like, is there any difference when you have, like, just a girls-only game? Or have you ever experienced that? And like, how different is it?
I feel like it's kind of completely different when I'm playing with other girls.
Yeah.
But it also depends on the girls that I'm playing with. Like, if I'm within my clan, because we're, like, all females, and we're in a group, and somebody tries to trash talk us, there's usually... Like, there's different groups. Sometimes the girls will, like, try and mess with them a little bit. And there's some girls that are just like, oh, let's just be classy and not say anything back because we're better than them. But then there's other girls that are like, yo, what's your KD? What are you doing? What are you doing? And it's so funny. So it really kind of depends on who I'm playing with. but I feel like the girls are more just like, let's just chill, let's just do good. When the guys are more specific, like, okay, put on your good class. We're gonna use ghosts. Don't be hiding around the corners.
No, I know it. Like, no, but even with girls, I feel like there's a sense of like being chill. We can talk whatever we kind of want, but we'll still communicate. And if win or lose, it's a more relaxed environment as opposed to guys. Their adrenaline gets so hyped up, they don't know what they're saying. Sometimes, they might say stuff to each other, and it conflicts. It's like it doesn't help. So, if there isn't that kind of animosity within the same group, it's like, oh, we had a great time, we played games, and still raped. It's like, it's not like I'm going to try hard any less just because I'm with a bunch of girls. It's just, we don't have to, like, nag on each other and bitch at each other that we're doing bad.
Me?
Yeah. Exactly.
Or there's, like, a team morale. Like, hey, let's do it better, you guys, instead of, oh, it's your fault.
So you feel like playing with guys is a lot more tougher because they tend to be a lot more immature?
I think it's just the way that they talk. I guess they talk to each other probably aggressively, and they're used to that, while girls have this sense of nice to each other a little bit more.
Well, according to an article that I just read, how guys play games is that because guys like to be competitive, so they love the competitive nature of video games. You're absolutely right in saying that their adrenaline does go up. So they're in that state, and sometimes to provocate or even to increase the adrenaline, they like to go into what's called like sass talk. So in order to build the adrenaline, to build the excitement, they will start bantering and saying the most craziest things. There was actually a meme that was online, and it was like who actually fucks your mom, and then like 99%, 1% was like your dad, and then 99% is like everybody on Xbox Live. And it's like saying that what it's trying to say is that when you're going to Xbox Live, they badmouth each other like, I just did your mom last night, or oh, that headshot was just as good as I did your mom last night, and stuff like that. And that's like the kind of banter that like provokes them to wanting to do more, to that competitive nature, to just be as badass as possible, to kind of like angst each other. And typically what follows is that they have more excitement, they become more focused on winning and getting better, and the more they can banter, the more they can excite themselves, the more chances they have to win, unfortunately. So what they're trying to do is they're trying to mimic that with girls. Unfortunately, women are different. We don't have that competitive nature. We don't approve of banter, especially if you're talking about our mom. Like, what'd you say about my mom? That kind of stuff. So I think what happens is that they think that they can use the same banter, the same, attempt to try to make this as fun as possible. And, it can be sometimes an innocent way of excitement to try to get you excited. But of course, it's hitting a dead wall because women don't function the same way, unfortunately.
Yeah, I agree with that. I hated when guys try and like say crap to me. They're just trash talking me in the lobby because it's like it's always something kind of mean. It's like, oh, you know what, bitch, blah blah blah, in the corner, and I'm like, what? What doesn't even make sense?
What? That doesn't even make sense.
I know, they just like make some random crap up, and I'm like, what does that mean? Am I supposed to be offended by that? And it's so stupid. Like, I don't have to deal with that, like, here or anything. My friends in real life, we don't talk like that. So it's weird when you go online and some guy's literally just verbally attacking you.
Yeah. They have nothing better to do. Like, I don't mind, like, normal banter, like, oh, it's a girl, let's see her prove herself. But when you start bringing up all these stereotypes that we keep getting, it gets kind of old. Like,
yeah.
Can you come up with something possibly new and entertain me this time?
I have no idea how I just killed you.
I mean, you're absolutely right, and it's funny because, sometimes the way that guys game, because it's so aggressive and because it's so competitive, they get so absorbed into the game itself that they kind of forget what they're saying. So it's kind of like, when you drink too much and then you have this switch that goes off, and then all of a sudden you just continue drinking until you pass out drunk. Like, unless you catch yourself before that last sip where you just fall off the face of the earth and get shit-faced, then you're in control, whatever. I think the same way goes with male attention span, or just when male focus. Like when males become focused, they're focused, and then that's it. They'll do anything they can to win. And unfortunately, that can go as far as demeaning, demoting, and just making some girls feel, pathetic. But my question to you ladies is that, Kitty, you just said so yourself, though, that some girls exhibit the same sort of nature in the sense that they banter back. So can you talk about that as well?
Yeah, I do that sometimes, but it's only if someone really says something to kind of aggravate me, or if they just keep going on. Because usually, like, when fights break out like that on Xbox Live with the Xbox gangsters, it's so funny because they're going, my friends are going, and it just sounds like a bunch of monkeys just going back and forth. So I'll say something sensible, like, "Oh, you sound so immature," and they're like, "What? Immature? Are you serious?" They get offended by actually saying something that, like, is probably true about them than, like, all this other crazy crap, like, "Oh, you suck at this game, blah, blah, blah." But if they hear something like, "Oh, you're immature," or I'll say something like, "You're not even that good. You're at the bottom of the list, dude," blah, blah, blah. And then they really get offended, and then they start really kind of attacking me specifically. But, I mean, like, when I trash talk people, I don't say any of that stupid crap. It's more like, "Oh, you suck," or, like, just playing around with them a little.
Normal, like,
Yeah.
like, hyping up the game and having normal trash talk. But when when it's a girl, they start saying all these stuff where it's like, I get enough of this, really.
Yeah, but do you think the banter then isn't the banter then in vain if all that's going to happen is that you're going to get outlashed with all these stereotypes? So wouldn't it be better to not even like instigate the I guess the trash talk?
Yeah, it's probably a good idea to not. But, like, sometimes I just can't help it.
It's like it's part of that gaming culture, and it's unfortunate that when girls do it, you don't get the same treatment as guys, where it's just normal banter. That's pretty much it. I feel like it's part of a tradition that people do that every so often because it kind of blows off steam.
So what's the limit? What's the limit to trash talk then? Because, like, I mean, you can say, I fucked your mom or whatever, but then, is that too much, or should it be something a little bit, like, what's the limit to you ladies when enough is too much, pretty much.
Killer drone on standby.
Sure, but like for me, usually what trash talking is we just hype ourselves up and talk about how much better we are. We don't even talk about anything else like bring someone's mom into the conversation.
Yeah. I guess the limit for me is when the game just stops becoming fun.
Yeah.
Like, after a couple matches of going back and forth, and every time you get in the lobby, "Oh, you know what, blah, 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 blah," play the game, "Oh, blah, blah, blah." Like, I just get tired of that after a while.
Get tired
the
of
game
trash
just
talking.
looks fun.
Stop trash talking after a while, though.
Yeah, it's just like, forget it. I'll find a new lobby. It's not worth it. And then I start to feel stupid for, like, going in and talking to someone like that, because it's like, why was I wasting my time on this idiot?
So could you ladies offer an example as to what was something that was said to you that was just enough and that you left and made the game not as fun?
I don't think it's like more like what's said. I think it's more unfair is if I go to a game that's free for all where everybody's pitted against each other and they all somehow manage to agree to go after the girl. That's not fun because that's just targeting one person. That's when it's not like I will quit the game. It's more like I don't want to be in a game when you're putting this target mark on this one person when it's supposed to be everybody for themselves.
Agreed. I guess a limit for me would be personal attacks, or when my ears start to bleed because they're just being so loud and annoying. I don't know. I can handle a couple matches, but if they're still going, it's just like it's useless. It's like something in my mind clicks, and it's like I need to just get out of here because these people are like trash and they're being ridiculous. But yeah, like, I've kind of had that happen before, like in a free-for-all too, when they want to try and like completely just keep going for you. It's not fun.
No, of course not. I mean, the whole idea is it's a free-for-all, to have fun, to like, to battle everybody. But when you get pinned as, the chicken that, constantly gets its head cut off, it's kind of boring. It's not fun anymore, and that's the problem with video games, especially if you're going online to just have a good time.
Yeah.
So the limit then is if banter is too long. So let's say if banter lasts for more than 2 rounds, would that be considered too much, or even less than that?
I'd say maybe like 4 rounds.
4 rounds of banter.
Because I try really hard to just like shut them up, and if that doesn't happen after that, then I'm just out.
So it's not only the length of the banter, the magnitude of the banter. So if you're yelling too much, or if you're yelling really loud and you can't even hear the shots fired in the background, or if it gets too personal, or if it becomes too offending, or if you're targeting a female collectively in a game, that's when the gameplay is no longer fun for a girl. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I agree.
Because some guys would say, "Oh, I just did it, out of nature, out of fun, just to gameplay. It's a competitive game, so we got to do whatever we can, to gain the upper hand." You know what I'm saying? So how would you counter someone who says that? That they banter and they do all this because they want to do whatever they can to win the game because it's a competitive sport.
I feel like that's kind of a tactic. If you're playing and you're trying to be loud, like say I'm playing something and some guy comes in with some extremely loud music
I have to mute him.
playing on the microphone. Yeah, that's like a tactic too, because I have to take a second and be like, who is that? And then I get killed, and then I have to finally mute him. So that's kind of a little bit of a tactic, but I don't think they mean it like that. But if it's just like, if they're just trying to do it for fun or to win, I mean, it's kind of silly. Like, I mean, I know, like, when I go into like live matches and I'm actually in game chat, I like to talk to people because it gets boring for me if no one's talking and I'm just listening to like the game volume. But I know that like provokes people too, because when they hear a girl, they're like, "Oh, you're a girl. Oh my God, you just killed me. You suck." Blah blah blah. I don't know why they do that. It's probably, like you say, a little bit of a tactic in a way.
Like, this is like regardless who it is, but I find it more often when guys find out I'm a girl, they'll try to teabag me, especially in Halo, because you can actually see that. Even in general, I know MLG players, sometimes they do teabag because it would make someone psychologically try to get mad. The thing is, I don't let it get to me because I do know it's a tactic. It's like, oh, yeah, go keep teabagging. You can't do that in real life anyway. Consider yourself lucky you can do that to my Spartan.
It's true. It's really funny.
Yeah, so,
yeah?
yeah, no, but I was saying, like, actually, MLG players do say that's why they do it, is to psychologically psych the other person out.
I see. That's very interesting. Thanks for sharing that. Now to the juicy part of our topic today. What are some truth and lies or misconception that you believe guys may have about how girls play games?
I think the misconception is more like there are way too many casual girl gamers to set an example for them to even have that kind of statement. You know what I mean? Like, there are casual girl gamers where they're like, oh, all you do is play Nintendo Wii and you probably suck at Call of Duty and all those other games when they see me.
So they don't think that you play any other games besides like Call of Duty, and like you probably play like Call of Duty and then like Super Smash Brothers or Nintendo or like Nintendo Dogs or something like that.
Or they like when people first meet me, they don't really believe that I even play games. Like even in my school, it's full of girls, and I connect with a lot of my guy friends who actually play games. And several of my classmates, whenever I'm talking to this one friend that we play Call of Duty a lot, they'll come in and jump in and they kind of ignore me, and I was wondering why, and I think it is because they don't believe that I play Call of Duty. One day, they finally hopped on and they came in with my friend that I usually talk to stuff about. They're like, "Holy shit, Allie, you're really good." I'm like, "Yeah, and you guys think I'm crazy when I'm talking about stuff?" They're like, "Yeah, we didn't think you really knew your stuff." And I was like, But, it's like I can't blame them at the same time, is because there are, like, when girls say they play games, and I'm like, "Hey, what are you going to play?" "Oh, I have games." With some of my girlfriends, they'll whip out the Wii controller, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, we're playing this."
Whip it out.
I don't mind the Wii, but you know what I'm saying? Like, it's really rare to go over to a friend's house and they'll have like a PS3 or a 360. And they'll be playing shooting games.
Zumba. I won't lie, I have Zumba, but I mean, I have other games too. But I think it's funny.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it's kind of the same too. Like they think you're kind of casual gamer, but like for me, like I think they will know that I play games, but they just think I'm like bad or something because in my department we have a game lab. So the first time I went in there, I know the guy was just looking at me like, "What are you? Do you need like the computer lab? It's actually over here." And I'm like, "No, I'm a freaking game programmer, and I want to come in here and I want to play games." And he's like, "Oh, okay, that's cool. So like, what do you play?" And I'm like, "Oh, just let's put on some Street Fighter or something." And then he assumes that I'm just automatically going to be bad until actually, we play. And then, they do think, they're like, wow, you're actually pretty good. I hate it when people just assume that you're not good at a game because you're a girl, things like that. I don't know. I think that they think that we're just talking about games to impress them in ways. And that's totally not true. I don't want to impress any guy.
I think I can see why guys might think that because, like, for me, the greatest thing is some of my girlfriends do actually play games, but I don't think they're as hardcore as I am. It's like, oh my god, you're a gamer and I'm a gamer and I can talk to somebody about it. I get excited about it, I like to talk about that stuff. And, some guys might put it off as, I'm trying to impress them. I'm not trying to impress you. I'm just excited that I can actually talk to somebody about it.
Yeah.
I don't have, like now, with YouTubing and I know all these YouTubers, I can talk to them and be excited together. And now I won't probably sound like a freak because, like I said, in my university, it is 80% girls, 15% gay guys, and 5% straight guys. And 5% of the straight guys don't even play games. I only know a couple that do.
Get out of here.
So obviously, I'm kind of confined because a lot of girls in my school are like, "You play games? Why do you waste your time on that?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm gonna just say a little bit about how I play games. I mean, normally I play games with a bottle of wine, sit back in my bed, nestled in my covers, put on my headset. I normally don't play online, but I like to play alone, campaign, for fun. And if anyone has this misconception, most girls, this is a lie. Most girls do not play games naked, and they do not play games in their underwear, unless they came out of the shower. That's the only exception. But if all of you guys think that most girls, play games half naked and take photos of themselves and upload it, that is a huge, huge ass lie. They do not play games like that. And if you see any girl that has photos of themselves half naked, covered in controllers, or just like with their legs up, kind of like playing a game, they're not really playing anything. They're playing with your mind, if anything, into believing that they're actually playing a game. Because there's no doubt in my mind that you can pose half naked and just play a game. Like, normally I have this face, and I don't know if you guys have this, but I have this face whenever I play a game. I am not photogenic. I have my mouth hanging open, my eyes are like dilated and wide. I look like a monster when I'm playing a game because I'm so focused and having a good time and like I'm muttering stuff to myself. So I'm not like when you're playing a game, you are not photogenic at all. And so any girl that is like taking a picture of her playing a game, she is not playing a game, okay? Because there's no possible way you can be photogenic when you're playing a game. And if you don't know what photogenic means, it means that you look good in pictures, okay? So freaking take the GREs or some shit if you don't know that word. But that's one lie that I just wanted to get out there. And one truth that I really, really, really hope that the fans that are out there that are listening to this is this. A real girl that plays games is not gonna boast about the fact that she plays games. And like exactly what Ali Mew is saying, if she is like, if she finds that you're into games and she gets really excited, she's getting excited because she wants to talk about games, not because she's interested in you. So a lot of people like they get that misconstrued and they think, oh, she's just trying to be flirtatious, she's really into me, she's just trying to play the part of like, you know, the girl that's really into games. And it's like, no, she's not playing a part, she's not pretending. This is genuinely how she
because,
is.
like I said, it's hard to find girls to talk to about, or people in general.
Absolutely.
It turns out guys play more obviously than girls.
Yeah.
I mean, but I mean, obviously that's changing, but the notion that, you know, girls are prevalently playing games hasn't changed, unfortunately. So guys who play games, make it easier for girls to kind of be themselves. You know, if you find a girl that plays games, you know, don't be eager to pounce her. Don't be eager to demote her or ask her to fill out a questionnaire or do a dissertation in order to, you know, prove that she's a gamer, because that's just ridiculous. But allow her to be herself in the same sense that she allows you to be whoever the heck you are.
And then you'll
That's all I have
capture
to
her
say.
heart.
Aww. Unless you're dating somebody, then don't cheat
No,
on whoever you're dating
don't
with to be
reverse,
with.
and then go after the girl.
Yeah. So I don't know. Do you ladies want to say anything else? Do you want to mention any truths or lies about playing games that maybe guys might not know?
Well, one thing's for sure is I think depending on the girl, we are competitive. There are girls who are just as competitive as you are that want to, you know, put on their try-hard panties and win the goddamn game. Like, be just as competitive as any guy gamer or as any gamer is.
Very true.
Yep.
But there's always a limit to how competitive you can be. I mean, it's fine to banter, it's fine to trash talk. But again, like with any situation, even in real life, be respectful. Like if you're going to be trash talking, at least end it on a good note. Say, hey, you know, I know that I was saying a bunch of shit, whatever, but you know, I hope it's only good. You know, I hope you know it's only for, you know, for good spirits. You know, just to like, you know, encourage competitiveness and just try to get you a little bit edgy to you know, be on your game, whatever. Say something as opposed to trash talking about her being in the kitchen, being a slut, being a whore, blah. You know, because all you're doing is that you're making it even difficult, you know, for girls to feel comfortable to just get online. I mean, that's why I don't play online.
Yeah.
How about you, Kitty? Any other truth or lies?
Just like going on what you just said, like with the whole trash talking thing, just like ease up on it a little, especially if you see that she doesn't really play online as much, because I feel that's like mainly the reason why a lot of girls have to mute everybody or they won't have their mic in and stuff like that because they're afraid of what they're gonna hear. So just make it fun if you can for everybody to just play and enjoy it.
Yeah, totally, definitely. So that wraps up this episode of Gaming Valkyries. Thank you so much for listening / watching. If you're watching on YouTube, tune in next week for our next episode, in which we will be talking about female characters and male characters' objectification and sexism. Because, you know, to be honest, it does happen to both females and males. Who they are, what they do, the good, the bad, and the ugly. We'll see you next week. I'm Nars.
And I'm Kitty.
And thanks again for watching.
Bye.
And listening.
Bye.